aside, none of you, until now, know me as Dr. Forleiter. It is my sole objective. It is my sole objective to put everybody in this room on the same page. There are so many different approaches to medical school. Some of us coasted, seemingly nonchalant, relying solely on that raw, innate intelligence. Others diligently sat front row for every class. Others bypassed class entirely in exchange for audio lectures. Still others attended each class, then went home to re-listen to each class on audio lecture. To those students, I congratulate you on your AOA acceptance. And I maintain that my invitation is lost in the mail. In this way, medical school is a lot like changing a diaper. Many different approaches, but if you're not focused, you may end up full of feces. While on that subject, if at any point during this speech it appears my lips are not in sync with the words, that's because the Dean's office insisted I go on tape delay should the need for any censorship present itself. I'm honored to be standing here, and I hope that I can shed a little light on what graduation means to us, for the 7 of you in the audience who are not doctors, as well as inspire my peers to search deep into their memories and isolate some of that raw emotion that penetrated our souls when we embarked on this journey together 4 years ago. But for many of us, it began way earlier than that. When I was very young, my sister Alyssa and I used to watch The Wizard of Oz constantly. Maybe it was because it was the only VHS we hadn't misplaced. Maybe it was because I missed my calling under the shining lights of Broadway. But we actually used to wake up early on weekends and act it out, word by word. I'm not proud of this. In fact, you are the first people I'm even sharing this horrendously embarrassing information with. But I realized while writing this speech that movie not only summarized medical school, it puts a lot of it in perspective. Now, before you say, ugh, is he really going to allegorically compare medical school to The Wizard of Oz? Please let me reassure you, yes. But only because it's so universally relatable by everyone in this room, regardless of age, gender, profession, country of origin, level of education, and cultural backgrounds. So here we go. When we were first years, plain and simple, we were Dorothy. Young, naive, enthusiastic, totally lost. We knew there was some vague path or yellow brick road we were supposed to be following to get to that coveted emerald city that is MD. The whirlwind of first year is not unlike the tornado that landed Dorothy in Oz to begin with. We quickly realized that if we were going to get through this, we needed help. We needed companionship. Enter the Scarecrow. Now, I cannot speak for everyone in this room, but if there was ever a time where I was pretty positive I lacked a brain, it was during second year. And this makes our clumsy, straw-filled friend a perfect representation of that grueling time in all of our lives. As the preclinical sciences came to a close, it was time to hit the wards. And if there is one thing I learned while interacting with my patients, it was the importance of empathy, compassion, and heart. Enter the Tin Man. After a couple rotations, we finally felt oiled up enough to handle the demands of hospital life. Now, standing before you, about to turn my tassel, Emerald City is closer than ever. Looking down at your gowns, you can see the green reflecting off the high city walls. Am I alone in thinking this is terrifying? Enter the Cowardly Lion. Sure, we may look doctor-esque from the outside, but inside we know how much there is to know. It is only through practice, experience, and yes, even mistakes, that any of us will ever achieve the greatness we set out for. Let's depart from Oz for a moment here. I liked my diaper quote, but I think James Bryce, a British politician, may have me beat when he famously stated, "Medicine is the only profession that labors incessantly to destroy the reason for its own existence." Not bad for a lawyer, right? It's valid, but I challenge Mr. Bryce's perception of what we do. Treating disease is but one ingredient in the stock pot that is our job description. We explain, we coach, we teach, we listen, we help, we guide, and we learn. The outside world may view us as healers, but I think what sets us apart is that we view ourselves as learners. And it is that subtle difference in introspection that makes me so proud to stand before you. I know the last 4 years have been challenging, and I promise the next 4 will be even more challenging. But I beg each and every one of you to never lose that passion and enthusiasm that got us here. Never lose that sense of pride for the profession, no matter what you see on TV. And never stop learning. From your attendings, from your patients, and even from the hospital technicians. And for those of you who don't think there's anything to learn from a nurse's test, I've seen many of you try to stop an infusion pump from beeping, and you resemble the flying monkeys. It's getting pretty deep into my speech now, and those of you who know me best are definitely thinking, has he really gone this long without referencing Bruce Springsteen? I scoured his lyrics, and among the countless allusions to cars, love, the blue-collar working man, and growing up on the Jersey Shore, I just couldn't find anything applicable to med school graduation. Suffice it to say that even at its worst, medical school was still full of glory days. I got one. But I'd be remiss if I didn't take a moment to emphasize how truly crucial that is. This profession is awash with unfavorable outcomes, and it's with good reason we consistently rank among the most prestigious jobs humans are capable of doing. For that, I know we will always approach life with dignity. That should not, however, preclude enjoyment. If anything, let it serve as a constant reminder of how precious life is, and let that appreciation spill over into your social life. Use it as a cue to call your mother, catch your son's baseball game, and buy your wife flowers for no reason. Remember that no New England Journal article will elevate your ability to heal the way being a good, wholesome person will. Now to conclude our allegory. At the end of The Wizard of Oz, we find out that the wizard is really no wizard at all. He is but a simple man, capable of inspiring. He tells the Scarecrow that he had brains all along, even when he doubted himself, just like us. He tells the Tin Man that he was sensitive and warm and possessed the true human touch just by being there for Dorothy. And although we will all be as apprehensive and timid as the Cowardly Lion on day 1, the lion rose above that to save Dorothy's life, just as we will rise above for our patients' lives. You will notice I have made no reference to any of the witches. It is not that we didn't have them, we just pronounced it a little differently. Class of 2011, I humbly stand before you, for you have all inspired me. 180 men and women from different backgrounds, with different dreams, all brilliant, all compassionate, all confident. Although we have arrived at Emerald City, never forget to look back on that yellow brick road from time to time and remember where you came from and what got you here. Dorothy wakes up from her fantasy at the end of the movie, but we don't have to. As you move forward, always know that there is no limit to your dreams if you dare to have them. Mom and Dad, I live each day to make you proud, and while I recognize that this is the crowning jewel, it's really only the beginning, because the class of 2011 is just getting started.